open up the City of Delaware Shade Tree Commission meeting for April 24th, 2018, and we will begin with roll call.
Ms. Brewster? Here. Mr. Carey? Mr. Glissman?
Here.
Ms. Schaefer? Mr. Wilbur?
Here.
Ms. Woodmeek?
Here.
Vice Chairwoman Wright?
Here.
Chairman Olin?
Here.
Motion to excuse the absent members.
Seconded. Vote, please.
Ms. Brewster?
Yes.
Mr. Glissman?
Yes.
Mr. Wilbur?
Yes.
Ms. Woodmeek?
Yes.
Vice Chairwoman Wright?
Yes.
Chairman Olin?
Yes. Okay, on to item number 2, approval of the motion summary for the meeting held February 27th, 2018, as recorded and transcribed. Do I have a motion?
I have a motion. I don't know how to do this. I have a correction.
Okay.
Do you have to put it into what's the discussion? Oh, member comments, the second paragraph. East William Street tree litigation project. I think it should be mitigation unless we're being sued by trees.
Good point.
We could be.
Yeah, litigation.
That event went hand in hand. Yeah. Okay, I will correct that. Actually, I can make that change right now.
Okay.
And we can fix it.
Can I suggest another change right now? I was not going to bring it up, but on the same page, under arborist report, the last sentence under arborist report, Mr. Richmond informed the commission that there are 88 trees inventoried in the downtown area. I think, Doug, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you meant to say 88 grab apple trees. There are more than 88 trees. There are some, non-grab apple trees as well. So maybe add the word grab apple since you are fixing it already.
Okay. I'll do that while you're talking.
Other than that, I'm ready to
Okay.
make a motion to approve.
Okay, with
I'll second.
okay, vote please.
Ms. Brewster?
Yes.
Mr. Glissman?
Yes.
Mr. Wilbur?
Yes.
Ms. Woodmeek?
Yes.
Vice Chairwoman Wright?
Yes.
Chairman Olin?
Yes. Okay, we can skip public comments tonight as there are no members of the public here. Now on to item number 4, discussion of community outreach activities. Susan, would you like to begin?
Yep. I emailed out a couple weeks ago, a schedule for working on both Saturday morning at the Healthy Kids Day, which includes the Arbor Day tree planting, and the following Friday, May 4th, for the First Friday event. I didn't get any responses to my email, so I'm pushing now for you to sign up for a turn at I sort of have it broken up into 2.
I signed up electronically. Did it not work? It was a Google document, right? No. Or, well, I put my name down. And
It was an
apparently didn't-
attachment. It was an attachment. So just if you could add it
Oh,
there.
yeah, okay,
I'm
good.
sorry.
All right.
I'm available both times, but I was waiting to see where I was needed. So, what else? We have everything inventoried, and I think we're ready to go. I haven't checked with Dave about the trees. I'm assuming that at our February meeting, he said they've been ordered, and I'm going to assume everything's cool with that.
Well, with regard to the trees, I think we said something about putting them on my porch and then I would transport them, and I will not be able to do that. Okay.
We're making a plan to.
You got it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And I think that's it. You've got our table ordered for you probably don't know where we're going to be. Yeah.
Nope,
We'll find out next.
no, she's talking Healthy Kids Day. I think you just show up and Roger will probably have it.
You show up and Roger says, "Oh yeah, let me get you a table."
Well,
The
I
volunteers,
got the email and Elaine sent it to everybody today that said, thank you for signing up. So I got 2 tables, one for you guys and one for the Parks Board.
Yeah.
So
the way
you
they
have
did
a
it last year was the teenage volunteers would show you the available tables and you would choose which.
Nice.
from what, it's first come, first served.
Yeah, the teen leaders, and
Yeah.
so they'll have gray shirts on. You can pull up into the circle, unload your stuff, and the teen leaders will help you. And then, yeah, I would assume that they will be able to tell you where your table is.
Mhm.
So are we all signed up for the volunteers for Healthy Kids Day?
Yeah, that looks good.
Good.
Okay, is there anything else we need to discuss with regard to some of the community outreach activities that are listed there? Item 4?
We still have a box of literature, right? You know,
Yeah.
I don't know where that is.
Yeah,
So
we-
some of that literature will be on the
Yep.
tables. You know,
Yep.
good, okay.
One thing I think we might have asked about on February meeting, and you weren't here, are the memorial tree, I don't know, form signups. I mean, if anybody, we used to have the cost share. We're not doing that anymore. But we're doing a memorial tree program. And is that officially underway?
Yeah, it's always been there. We
Okay.
just kind of put some format to it now.
Okay. Do you have any forms or anything that we could promote
Yeah,
it?
We can get those. We have those forms in computer. Yeah, we can get those to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
If it's something you can email me and I'll print them out, that would be fine.
Okay,
Or
yeah,
if
put
you've
up
already
there.
got them printed out with the logo, that I'd
Okay.
rather have those.
Okay. Yep, no problem.
Yeah, good thinking, because that's kind of a new thing.
Yeah.
that-
Yeah, it's always been there, but now we have kind of a format to it, so it should, we will have those forms for you.
Okay, all right. Okay, anything else before we move on? Anything else concerning the community outreach activities?
You do have a table for First Friday. Won't know where that is until next week,
Okay.
middle of next week, so then I can just let you know.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, then, on to item number 5, discussion of creating a resolution to council regarding the BIA, Building Industry Association, or something like that.
Before we move on, any comments about 4C, the Now Watershed Festival? Is there anything to say about that, or is it too early, too premature at this point?
Well, we
We
have,
skipped
we
over-
have, we have a meeting. We have another one of these
Yes.
meetings before the event.
Well, it's on the agenda. I just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure that, we don't forget anything.
Well, Carolyn Cicerci sent out an email just a couple days ago, and it was just a general form email, and asking if we intended to participate, and I told her months ago that the Shade Tree Commission would definitely be participating, but other than that, that's the only thing that she mentioned in that email. Did you guys get that too?
No.
No? Okay. So I'll make sure that she knows, I'll write that down and make sure that she knows that, yes, I'll remind her that, yes, we are participating in that event.
And there's another, organizational meeting coming up. I believe it's next week or the first week of May.
I believe she knows that because I discussed putting the table in the
That's what yeah,
pre-season
okay.
room for you guys.
All right, so
So-
she's got that.
She should know, but
Yeah.
I will confirm that with her too.
Okay, good, thanks. Anything else on item 4? Okay. On to item 5, discussion of creating a resolution. The letter that Tom drew up, the proposal. Any thoughts, observations? We haven't heard from Doug about this, or Ted. Did you guys want to comment on this draft?
Yeah, I don't see any problem. I mean, there's meetings in the BIA that if there was a topic of the commission charter and the tree replacement, if that was a specific topic, I'm sure Dave from planning would include someone from the Shade Tree Commission. But sometimes they'll have meetings with the BIA and not even anticipate talking about something like that, and it may come up in there. And I just understand that sometimes might happen, but it's not their intent is not to exclude the Shade Tree Commission on them when something like that happens. So, and Dave's very good about it. When questions come up, he will not really give an answer. He'll want it to go to the Shade Tree Commission. If a specific question comes up that you guys need to be polled on, then I'm sure Dave would pass that along. So I just want you to be aware of that's not they're not trying to exclude or anything when questions come up and specific topics on the BIA, and when they discuss other items, sometimes the street trees or topics like that do come up, but just to make you guys aware.
Well, I appreciate hearing that. Of course, Ted, you also have to see it from the point of view of the Shade Tree Commission. We have never been included, not once, in those conversations, and many meetings have taken place where items of significance to the Shade Tree Commission were indeed discussed. So, I'm sure you understand our desire, to have a seat at the table and to have a voice, in those discussions.
Absolutely.
It's not unreasonable to ask, and as a matter of fact, I have a couple statements here too. But I'll let.
Right, well, and then that being said, Ted, do you have any specific issue with any of the wording of this draft proposal?
No. No, I mean, I think it's fine. I think it's like Tom said, I think that's perfectly fine. The desire of this commission to be included in those conversations is totally fine, and nothing in there. But I just wanted to make sure you understand that when they do have meetings, it's sometimes
spontaneous.
Yeah, it's not meeting to, and all of a sudden those topics do come up, and I'm sure they will consult this committee when as needed. So when those specific topics do come up.
Okay, yeah, that is fine, yeah.
Doug, did you have any problem with any of the wording on this?
No.
Okay.
I do have a problem with the wording. Being the wordsmith that I am, even though English is not my native language, I'm a stickler when it comes to details. So I would like to make a friendly amendment. In line 2, okay, let me read the first sentence, actually the first couple lines. The Shade Tree Commission of the City of Delaware is hereby respectfully requesting that at least one member of the commission is present. That is, grammatically wrong. Is present is the indicative. It is not a fact that we are indeed present, so we need to use the subjunctive.
Will be.
Hypothetical, be present is the correct form to use here, not is present. That at least one member of the commission be present and permitted, blah, blah, blah. So I'm sorry for not.
Yeah.
But these things
What was that, subjunctive?
Indicative happens in the real world. Subjunctive is the mood used for hypothetical, unreal, wishful thinking, etc., for unreal situations.
Excellent.
I teach grammar, so I know that stuff.
Okay. Anything else on there, Tom?
I'd like to make a couple statements, and then I would probably like to make a motion that the Shade Tree Commission formally adopts this resolution, which is only a recommendation. City Council can accept it or reject it. That's up to them. We are only making recommendations. We are not passing ordinances or anything. Just to be clear. 2 comments with your permission. Number 1, a current member of City Council has recently made an online comment on the website of the Delaware Gazette. Quoting from the website of the Delaware County Board of Elections, he or she noted that 3 colleagues on City Council have received campaign contributions from the Building Industry Association, from the BIA. To counterbalance the strong presence of the BIA in City Hall, it is therefore desirable that the Shade Tree Commission be present at all meetings physical and virtual, with a BIA that involve topics within STC's jurisdiction. That's comment number one.
You're saying that you want that
No,
as a
no,
prelude
no.
to this?
I'm simply providing a rationale for the
okay, gotcha.
resolution.
In a context.
Provide some background, some context. There is a lot of talk, I will not use certain terminology, but there is a lot of talk right now in the community about, what is ethical and what is unethical. And within that context, I see that resolution within the context of those conversations. Comment number two, the Airport Commission met April 19th, last week, and City Manager Tom Homan suggested that the member of the Airport Commission be present at all meetings that involve future plans for Delaware's municipal airport. Such a liaison person, as he put it, would help facilitate the flow of communication in both directions and ensure that the Airport Commission has a voice at the table. Mr. Homan's idea is an excellent one and can readily serve as a template for STC. So what we are requesting is perfectly aligned with what other sister commissions, are doing or will be doing in the future. So we are not in any way, shape, or form outliers. That I wanted to impress that upon my colleagues on the Shade Tree Commission.
Yeah. Thank you.
So with that, I make a motion that the City Commission formally adopts this resolution and passes it on to whomever, City Council, Ted Miller, they will pass it on.
I just wanted to add one thing and I think I brought this up previously. The first opportunity that we have, and we are invited to a meeting, since you feel the most strongly about it, Tom, can I assume that you'll clear your schedule to attend any meeting? I mean, that's the issue. We all have day jobs.
Well, so do I.
Well, no, I know, we all have day jobs.
Luckily, my office is right around the corner, so I can walk here within a couple of minutes. So I would be delighted to serve in that capacity if the Shade Tree Commission, if I'm honored to have that trust and confidence. However, it probably would be better if the chair or co-chair, would serve as a liaison person. However, they are free to delegate that responsibility to somebody of their choice. But I don't want to undermine the authority, the hierarchy that we have.
Tom, you are so delegated. How's that?
All right.
Mr. Wilbur, before we continue,
Yes.
Can we just clarify the changes you wanted to make is that it's going to say that the Shade Tree Commission of the City of Delaware is hereby respectfully requesting that at least one member of the commission will be or just be?
Be present.
Be present.
Well, will be would be fine too, but simply be present
Okay.
subjunctive.
And did you have something about at all meetings permitted? Did you
Ah.
have at all meetings, or is that not an addition? At all meetings.
That is not
permitted?
part of the current resolution. The resolution says during any and all physical or virtual meetings
Okay.
between the City of Delaware and the BIA, if, or when these meetings include topics of relevance to STC.
So we're only looking at changing is and be.
The one and only change is the change from the verb is to be.
Okay,
Thank you.
that's easy.
Okay, then, so are we ready to second? I will second Tom's motion, and then we're ready for a vote.
Ms. Brewster?
Yes.
Mr. Glissman?
Yes.
Mr. Wilbur?
Yes.
Ms. Woodmeek?
Yes.
Vice Chairwoman Wright?
Yes.
Chairman Olin?
Yes. Okay. Very good. Moving on. Now we have the arborist report.
Okay, we have two reports for February and then also for March. I'll do February first. The 6 large caliber trees were removed by a contractor. These were deemed hazardous trees. We removed 3 smaller caliber trees. We did 37 trees, street trees were pruned, and we have no new issues at that time. In March, 4 large caliber trees were removed and 3 small caliber trees. 93 street trees are pruned. We're starting to ramp up our pruning operation. So that number will be climbing each month. No new issues. I do have a couple, I guess, not as far as staffing goes, but we did plant 500 trees at the wetlands, some seedlings that was done by Caroline. She had a group of students from, I believe they were from Hayes High School, came in 2 classes, came and planted 500 seedlings. They are all planted on the downward slope of the pond side of the trees so that mowing wouldn't affect them, and let them grow and see how they do. The trees that were planted were swamp oak, red maple, dogwood, and serviceberry. So get some color and see how many of these we can get to live. And then also I do have, Stacy Davenport and I attended the Tree City USA Awards presentation. I did bring 2 pamphlets from it, so you can see how the other communities compare as far as the years and what the program consisted of. Grove City was held at the Latin Shrine Center down in Grove City. It's a very nice area. A lot of growth in Grove City. A lot of history there also. So we're gentleman from used to be called Oops, it's now called 811 Ohio. They came and gave a presentation about some of the law changes as far as your responsibility to call before you put a shovel in the ground. And they did a tree planting there at the shrine center. So it was a nice little ceremony. We received our 37th straight year of being a Tree City USA. So everybody has a lot to be proud of on that. So I do know that next year's Westerville will be hosting next year, I believe. That's what I heard. And so start thinking it'll be about the same time again next year. So if you want to go, more than welcome to, and I'll pass these out.
Thanks, Doug.
Doug, didn't Westerville host 2 years ago?
They did. That's why I think I may not be Westerville.
Okay. Well, thanks for going.
I have a question about your report, just in general. The large caliber trees that are being removed, are those usually street trees? Are they usually maples or vary?
They are large trees, street trees that we are not capable of removing due to the size of the tree itself, or they could be in power lines. Seeing some issues with, I would say that probably 50% of those trees were silver maple trees that were removed.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. How big were the trees that Carolyn and the students
They were
planted?
seedlings.
Yeah, just like 5 gallon or less?
No, they're seedlings. They're
bare
like
root?
what you're going to be passing out on Saturday.
Oh, okay, like bare root
Yeah.
stuff? Okay.
Doug, I have a question. I don't know if you have the answer to it, but remember that 23 and North Sandusky Street exchange?
Mhm.
Are we going to get anything other than the junipers? I mean, do you know about that? Is that in your wheelhouse?
I do. That is actually, there is ground cover, sedum ground
mulch.
cover.
There's some mulch.
There's some mulch on it right now, but the ground cover should come through.
I just wonder, I mean, there's a whole lot of perennials. It's just, I mean, there's beds that have nothing but mulch in them. I just wonder if you knew if the company was going to actually,
Where is this?
the new exit at 23 and Sandusky Street.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought there were a bunch of trees that were going in there.
There's some trees and there's some shrubbery and a lot of junipers, but there's quite a few beds that have never been, there's nothing been installed in them.
There's taxus, there's a lot of ornamental grass in there. There's some, I think there's some rose, isn't there? Black-eyed Susans are in there.
So are they done?
They're not?
They can't.
Last year, you told us that it was a contracting issue when we were asked about that, and you said, oh, that's the contractors, they need to come back.
They came back.
They came back.
They
okay.
planted everything they were responsible
Huh.
for.
Yeah, we went through it and specifically counted, like, if there was 5 black-eyed Susans, there were only 4, they planted the extra one. So we went through that last fall, and I believe they ended up coming back about last fall sometime, because they were supposed to come, well, they waited until the fall to plant those.
Yeah.
So. And then also the ground cover with bugs, they were short on a lot of those died off, so they replanted a lot of those also.
Okay. I just wondered, because it just looks like a whole lot of island beds next to the road that's just mulch. There's nothing, appears to be no plant material, but it's
Yeah.
ground cover.
Yeah, it's there, it just hasn't been established yet. So.
Got it, okay.
And we may end up adding to it in the future, but, you know, we just kind of got that, this year's the first year we're responsible for that.
Okay. I have another question too, and this might go to this tree donation that we talked about. I was approached by some people that wanted to plant trees in memoriam for those who have passed away in tragedy and such in a real short time frame. Can we just do this? Can we call the city and we want to plant a tree? And I said, I think we actually have a program for that. So is that along the lines of this program?
Yes.
Because, you know,
Yeah, I know. So the
can't
biggest
just
thing.
show up at Mingo and drop a tree. And
Right, no. And that's kind of what we wanted to do this program for, is so that we can have a sustainable program, so that we're not just putting plaques everywhere in the parks, and trying to do something a little more organized on a wall, and also so that, because people always want to be able to go and see that plaque, and they also, you know, but we'll also tell them where the tree is, but we also want the trees to be put in area. We don't want to just put a tree in to put a tree in. We want to put a tree in where it needs to be, and where Doug, you know, sees a spot where one is needed. So that's kind of the whole idea behind the program. So we have some work to get that Tree of Life up and ready to go. So we'll work on that and see if we can't get that up and running so people can start.
You think
doing
by
this.
the end of the year I can?
Yeah, I think that should be safe to say.
Okay, good.
So you do have some people that are interested.
I had some people that wanted to. They
Okay.
really wanted to. There's been some local tragedy with high school students in Delaware County, and
Okay.
you know, some other things, and people approaching me or committees I'm on and saying, hey, why don't we just plant a tree in
Yeah.
their memory? And I thought, I think we have something rolling. I think the city's going to be prepared to do that.
Our biggest thing up right now is where we're going to put that Tree of Life, so
Yeah.
so that it's in a decent location and protected. But we'll work on that and get all that finalized. But yeah, and then we'll also kind of reel that out as a program and let people, you know, everybody know how to do it, and it's up and running.
Okay, I like it. Thank you.
I had a question on there, just out of curiosity, I don't know if you know, but the Tree Campus, as it's called at the bottom there, how does a college or university become affiliated or a part of that program?
They have to meet the requirements that set forth. They have to spend so much money per student, I think, population, each year to meet that. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I researched that a number of years ago and suggested to Ohio Wesleyan become a tree campus as well, because Denison and Kenyon and other colleges are already part of the program. Wesleyan has the preconditions. We have an arboretum, we have a budget, everything is in place. But I think the administrative will, it also would be a good recruitment tool. People could brag about that, to prospective students, to visitors. But it hasn't happened yet. But I've not given up yet. If that's what you are suggesting.
Well, no, I did not, you personally, but you just said with like Westerville and Otterbein was on there, and we have the city, Tree City, but the college or university isn't. It just it seemed like it added up. So
It would be the easiest thing to do from what I know about it, but it
Gotcha.
hasn't happened yet. I have a related question about the brochure. Thank you for sharing that with us. I noticed that a couple communities, Mount Vernon and was it Washington Courthouse, received a growth award. How do you get a growth award? I don't know that offhand.
Through projects and how much money you spent on them.
Okay. And so we are not currently qualified. Delaware is not currently qualified for a growth award. I mean, we have all kinds of projects going on.
We haven't taken on, I'm sorry, I don't know the dollar amount total that needs to be spent on it. We did receive a growth award 2012 or 2013, I forget which, and that was due to all the activity with the new parks being put in. So it's a lot of money that needs to be spent at one time for the growth awards.
Yeah.
I believe that that's the case.
So you have to go above and beyond the call of duty to receive a growth award. All right, good.
I believe Washington Courthouse actually received a growth award for taking trees down.
Really?
Well, they spent the money, in other
Yeah,
words.
Yeah, it was.
Maybe dead trees, yeah.
Dead ash trees.
It wasn't ash trees. I wish I could remember what it was. I'm sorry, I apologize.
Yeah, that's,
But they actually removed trees, and I don't know if they had replaced them. The guy didn't really speak clearly when he was up there talking about it, but they removed. I know they removed the trees because it was kind of a joke. So
That is weird.
that is funny.
Washington Courthouse, they're big bare root fans down there. They plant all their street trees by bare roots, and actually their shade tree commission handles all of that. They plant everything. He's a very take action kind of guy. So the guy that's the chairman of the shade tree.
The Shade Tree Commission plants all of the trees.
Yes,
So bare root,
that's the way.
Kinda makes sense.
Don't they have clay soil down there?
I'm sure
I mean, bare root's kind of tough to do in clay.
they
soil.
swear by it. That's their way. They like. I'm not suggesting we do it that way, but I'm just saying I just brought up this.
I could see doing that in sandy soil, maybe. Huh. Any other questions for Doug?
Yeah, one more. About the 500 seedlings in the wetlands area behind Myers, on 36, 37. I'm sure everybody knows what we are talking about. Now, a number of years ago, a high school student planted, not on the slope, but on top, hundreds of seedlings. And my understanding is every single one of them, perished because it's dry and arid and inhospitable and hot. So I'm concerned about the longevity of those seedlings. Now, they are on a slope. There is some vegetation. There will be some shade. They are closer to the water, but many of them still are likely to die unless, they receive some TLC. Are there any plans to maybe water them for a while or do something with them for a while?
No, not at this time.
So it's a single swim for them.
They're seedlings, and there's so many of them. If all 500 lived, it would be a forest.
Yeah.
That's why I asked what kind they were, because a similar thing happened to Kristen Piper when she tried to stabilize the bank out at Delaware Lake.
Delaware Lake.
On the east shore. She put in, I don't know how many bare root willow, or I think they were
willow twigs, branches, yeah.
And there was real high mortality with that too. So it's good that, we'll see what happens, But.
I think you'll see, I think you'll be surprised how well they'll do. There's a lot of vegetation for shade and for, and they're not going to be disturbed by mowers. They're not going to be disturbed by people walking down into it to go fishing, or, people generally just don't. They fish off the bridges there, or they don't, just because around the pond itself is very brushy, very.
Lots of thistles, yes.
Yeah, so it's more of a natural wildlife area that, hopefully some of these dogwoods and spruce berries and yolks will grow and show color, and,
Mhm.
it'll be something else to see other than calorie pair.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's great. I'm glad she did that. Okay, any other questions for Doug before we move on to staff comments and then member comments? Linda, anything else to add about all these events coming up?
Nope,
Okay.
I think we're all set for them.
Great, thank you for your help with all that. So then we're on to item number 8, member comments. Any comments?
I'll just mention that last night at the city council meeting, the Shade Tree Commission received the proclamation, the Arbor Day proclamation, which we do every year. So I have it here, and I don't know what we've done with these in the past.
I'll give it to Doug. And I
Okay.
did try to change it a little bit, so it wasn't the same from year to year. I know you're.
Let me see.
You're adding your own addition to it.
You're making it more interesting, I
No,
hope?
it's not, but it did have
Get
an
it every
addition.
year.
If you can find it,
Did you write all the words on, all the wording? on it?
Do I type it?
Cut and
Did-
paste.
Oh,
We
okay.
usually use the same one. I mean, it's the same kind of Arbor Day thing, but I did add like an extra one. For this one.
Do you want to read it aloud?
Oh, yeah,
Also
sure.
for the few members of the public who might be watching or will be watching the meeting.
Okay, excellent idea. From the Office of the Mayor, proclamation, whereas the purpose of Arbor Day is to promote a continuing awareness of the value of trees and forest for the citizenry of Delaware, and whereas the conservation and restoration of our forest and all natural resources through proper management techniques has long been a desirable goal, and whereas the knowledge of an interest in conservation is valuable in the development of the character of future generations, and whereas the programs of planting by youth and adults in the Delaware community may further promote the worthy practice of reforestation and community beautification, whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business area, and beautify our community. Now, therefore, I, Carolyn K. Riggle, Mayor of the City of Delaware, Ohio, do hereby designate Friday, April 27th, 2018 as Arbor Day in the City of Delaware, and call upon the citizens of Delaware to observe this day to renew the progress that has been made in the conservation and restoration of our natural resources, and to promote current efforts of community beautification. Very nice.
Find the additional.
Okay, any member comments?
Shannon, I know you brought up the memorial services or memorial trees. I don't know, you mentioned about the students being at Buckeye Valley. The 11th of May, we're doing a memorial where we're actually going to plant 2 trees on the campus. So yeah, that's, I know that doesn't bring to the shade tree.
That was
but,
one of the schools, of course, that
Sure.
was brought up. So
Yeah.
I'm glad.
So yeah, that's, yeah, 2 weeks or whatnot. So,
May 11th,
correct.
okay.
And I'm sorry, what school is that again?
Buckeye Valley.
Buckeye Valley,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Are these for faculty or for?
There was 2 students that passed.
Oh,
in a
that's,
car crash,
okay, okay, that's right, yeah.
God,
Yeah,
February, I believe, January, but yeah.
okay,
So yeah, May 11th.
yeah. Okay, then we're on to, well, any other
Let me-
member comments?
Yeah,
Yeah, let me thank Susan and David. You know, they are the 2 people who gave the presentation last night at City Council. I was hiding in the back, yeah. So I appreciate, you know, their courage to
And
stand up and speak.
thanks to Doug, because we didn't have that March meeting, he scurried around and got an annual report pushed out, and we all made a few changes, but thanks for doing that, because that's really our responsibility, and because of the absence in March, just didn't happen, so. I should have mentioned on the Arbor Day, Healthy Kids Day, when we were talking about that earlier, that at 10 a.m. during that event will be our official Arbor Day tree planting at the Splash Park. That's part of that event.
At the Splash Park.
And Doug, I assume everything's ready to go. The hole will be dug in.
Yep.
Thank
it'll
you.
all be ready to go. It is an autumn blaze maple, and that's only because we wanted to tie in with the other trees that were already in the line for their heads. So.
And the tree is donated by the city again,
It
or?
is not donated by anyone. The city's donating it, yes.
Yeah, so bought by the city, yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, anything else before we go on to plan reviews?
Would you like to keep the proclamation and display that at the Healthy Kids Day, Arbor Day table? And then get it put back to us? That might be nice to have at the table.
That would be nice.
Okay, with me, we'll just put it in the
We'll add it
bin.
Yep.
to the bin.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, then on to plan reviews then. We've got one to look at.
Two, maybe one. Yeah.
This is the next area, communities of Glen Ross off of Cheshire Road to the south side. The commission's already approved the entrance plantings. We did that already. And this will be the first phase of the actual housing development that will be developed.
Future homes.
These will all be future homes and streets.
And what school are these kids going to?
The new Old Andrews School.
Okay.
Stupid question, Doug. It
Yes.
says Berlin Township. That's not the city of Delaware. So what's the?
It is the city.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Township
Yeah,
boundaries.
this was drawn by Blendon Gardens, and actually when we had this, I had to call them and make sure that we were both in the right area, because I was like, well, I didn't know where this was at first, because none of this was done. And I hadn't heard of any of the plans south of this road. I mean, the turnaround wasn't here or anything. And I did at the time, I was like, oh, you know, I didn't know where this was even at.
The boundaries are weird out there too. The boundaries along some of the roads out there. Well, I like these species here. Looks good to me.
Nothing exciting.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be more to come too, so.
Just tried and true trees, that's all.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they're going to be cranking them out.
Yeah, Terra Alta's coming on.
Mm.
So there's lots and lots in there. So
Anybody have any objections to this? I don't have a pen. Thank you. Yeah.
it's crooked.
There, thank you.
That's all we have.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Short and sweet. She's old.
Okay, move to adjourn.
I second.
All right, we are adjourned.
Is this your official last meeting?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's all right.
This is it. Sorry, but like,
You're
tons of
alone.
stuff is,
Life
well,
is
it's
moving
much
along
more,
quickly.
it's much more than just that. There's like all kinds of crazy